And we're back with session 3 of Heart Hums in Darkness, Trophy Gold in Eberron. When last we left our hunters off, they'd made it to the Amber Commons, a sort of open cavity park area, major thoroughfare of this repurposed Dakani ruins in a town called Wellslode, where they are looking for basically what's going on here, but they also have rights of salvage. Uh, and some weird things are going on afoot. There are beeswax people pretending to be not beeswax people. There are bees in beeswax people. There are bees pretending to be things. It's a little interesting. One of these bee pretending to be people is a young woman by the name of, she's pretending to be Arina Yaramir. And she was found by Pastouche, one of our treasure hunters' loyal canine companions. That would be Theoban. And after a sort of misunderstanding between Theoban and Vaunn, she went running teary-eyed deeper into Wellslode. But some other stuff has happened as well. Asta finally had her necklace decursed. We haven't really seen the fallout of that, but she still has her echo ritual, so there might be some fun stuff going on there. We have a vampiress in Walking Citadel on her way towards Wellslode. That was a 8 o'clock, and there are currently 5 sections of that filled up. So there are 3 sections left. When that fills up, she'll arrive on scene. And how are hunters doing? Let's take a look. See here. Remember, your goal is to meet your burdens. We have Tuvo with 6 burdens. Currently, no hunt tokens, but a fair little chunk of treasure. Not enough to quite cover your burdens yet. So that's definitely something you're going to want to be interested in solving. But you've got 4 ruins, so you're getting up there. But you got 1 piece of armor left, so you're doing okay-ish. And you've got some interesting conditions, including Mabaran Heart and marked by the Aurum Vorax, which is the giant digging monster that you guys encountered and fought and slew last session. Had a collar on it that was worth 1 gold. Very interesting. Who's keeping one of those things as a pet? Who knows? This is Eberron. We have Asta, our lovely dwarven ex-ducal guard, with 7 burdens. Currently sitting at 5 ruin, right there on the razor's edge. But 3 hunt tokens and a good little chunk of treasure as well. Though I think some of that you are still holding on to for longer term. But you do have 1 piece of armor left to mark, but still very risky because risk rolls with dark die do not deal with armor. So bear that in mind as we're going forward. You do have 3 hunt tokens, though. So by yourself, you can accomplish a major narrative goal, and we can talk about what exactly that means. But basically, you set out to do something with major narrative impact, and I'll probably say okay. So figure out if there's anything you want to do, or bank those. Vaunn, our opportunistic grave robber, our shifter, has 4 burdens to meet. And is also sitting at Ruin 5 with no armor left. Guys, what are you doing? You're scaring me here. But Vaunn also, Vaunn and Theoban, I believe both, did you both take, yeah, you both got the new ritual, Hum. So you can commune with an inhuman intelligence. A little bit risky for Vaunn to do that right now, because that would include a dark die, but doable. And Vaunn also, just in general, condition wise, is not looking great. Flayed arm, stung, lamplight eyes, the sneezes. Vaunn, maybe take a Benadryl, buddy. And Theoban has 4 burdens to meet at 4 ruin, loaded with conditions, including disturbed, best friends with the beast, haunted by the tapestry. 1 condition for Pastouche. Technically, Pastouche is a stinky boy and something about that will make the bees able to find him pretty quickly. Also has stung and lamplight eyes, and also has the hum ritual. So hats off to you. And not a lot of treasure to your name, but you do have 2 hunt tokens. So, uh, that all sounds fun and well and good. And we last left you off in the Amber Commons. Uh, bees were sort of like a omnipresent but not immediate threat. They are probably heading in your position. So you don't want to linger too long, but I'm not going to like force you guys out of the room yet if there's like still searching that you want to do. Or but also remember Arina just ran deeper into Wellslode. Um and then just a sort of final reminder, you do have a task by the Sentinel Marshal, whose name I don't remember. But he just wants to know what's going on in Wellslode. And if you can get some kind of like evidence of information about what exactly is happening in the city other than town's haunted, I think he said he would give you 2 gold each. So keep that in mind when you're weighing your burdens and your treasure. But all that said and done, um, what do you guys want to do? Or, feel free to just talk amongst yourselves and role play.
Can I trade a couple of hunt tokens in for treasure?
You sure can. You want to do 2? And it's
Yeah.
sure. So looking around the Amber Commons, you find let's see. I'll go ahead and say that you do find one of those where is that bangled tree? Yeah, you do find a particularly fancy, let's call it a lover's bracelet, and it is worth 1 gold. You also find I'm going to say you actually probably found this in that storage hut. Uh, you also caught eye before you decided to book out. You saw a chipped silver cup. It is worth 1 gold. Also, friendly reminder, you did find this curious book
Mm-hmm.
down there. And I do believe I said that was worth 1 gold as well. But you have not had a chance to like sit down and actually look at what is going on in it yet.
And I feel like if there's chasing after Arena, we'll do that. Otherwise, if we're like, yeah, you know what, we'll catch up to her. I will show my book to my friends.
Uh, Asta the dwarf shows you guys a fancy. Let me see if I have any more details about this book. I don't think I do. It's sodden, but I imagine it's a leather bound tome. It probably has one of those like leather thongs that it's tied up with. So it's I don't know. It looks very witchy. I guess to give it a decent description. Smells like mushrooms.
And I guess, yeah, like we open it, look at it, make
Sure.
Tuvo read it.
Um, Give me a hunt roll. Do you have any skills or equipment that would help
Let's
you like
see.
um you're not the witchiest person in the
No.
crew. Um and I'm not going to say like the book counts for its own piece of equipment because you're literally trying to
No, I totally, and that's actually honestly like if it makes like I can totally see Asta being like, "Hey, Tuvo, read this," and he could make the hunt roll if
do you
that'll
want to do
make.
that, Tuvo?
Yeah, yeah, I'll
Sure. Go ahead, Tuvo. Give me demons, negotiation, trickery, appraisal. I think appraisal will help you out here. At least discovering more about what it's worth, and then also somewhere between you and Asta working together at like trying to piece this out. Yeah, Tuvo, give me a 2 die hunt roll, please. While that's going on, what about Vaunn and Theoban? What are you guys up to? Other than Vaughan tasting Theoban's face.
Um, well, my cute new not yet girlfriend just ran down a hole. However, Theoban is a bit of a bitch baby. Now previously we did say that there might be something in the area related to Dreadhold.
You did,
So
yeah.
so I think if Asta is kind of waiting a moment before running after Theoban's girlfriend, um, Theoban will probably just take another quick glimpse around to see if he can see that symbol again and figure out what that was about.
Sure. I'm going to say that you remember where it's at, and now you can actually see in the dark. I'm not going to make you roll to find something a second time. Um, so yeah, gosh, I wish I remember like that was part of a devil's bargain. Um, yeah, I'm going to say that it is I think we said something like it was on a medallion. So I'm gonna put it like on a person of interest, and say that like um, there might have been. Oh, let's do this. Actually, yeah, if you're gonna go ahead and approach this person, I think that you're pursuing your goals in a certain way because that's one of the other things that can prompt a hunt roll. So, do you have any skills or equipment that will help you discern more about like what is going on with bum, 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 bum. Bribery, focus, persuasion, soothing?
The
Uh,
only one I would be able to really argue would be focus, I think.
yeah, equipment could also is also useful as well,
Yeah,
and you do have a small but vicious dog
I do have a small
that
but
might be
vicious
able
dog.
to help you like sniff around the area.
Yeah, because small
Um,
but vicious dog at the very least knows the smell of his brother.
oh, that's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. I like that. Go ahead and give me a 2 die hunt roll, and I'm going to take a look at what happened with Tuvo. Tuvo, you encounter something terrible with two twos. I love this for us. Um, so the good news is with a hunt roll, you get the objective answer no matter what. It's not a perception check. It's more of a random encounter generator. And so, hello. I did say I would make you guys make risk rolls whenever Tally decides to enter the stream, and here she is.
All right.
Um, so, uh, huh, I'm gonna give you a choice here. Um, there is a ritual that you can learn. Um, it would be a library thing, so it would actually increase your burdens in this case, and you would have to like keep the book like sort of either on you or until the end of the incursion. But if you want to actually like learn it, it's going to take about an hour, which means I'm definitely going to increase the counter on the Anthea clock. Which I think I should probably go ahead and just say like, but I need to give you something that's like, oh, I know. I'm actually going to bank this. I'm going to bank my you encounter something terrible for something a little bit later. Um, Let me ask you this question. When's the last time you thought of Lyra?
Ooh, probably earlier in the brambles probably more recently because of the friendship bracelets.
Okay. Yeah. What about one of the friendship bracelets on the tree reminds you of the friendship bracelets that you and the people of Ice, or a similar tradition? Doesn't have to be friendship bracelets, but like what token of friendships do kids in Ice give to each other that that sort of tradition reminds you of?
Ice. No. um,
Just putting ice down the backs of each other's shirts.
for love.
That's just a thing that they do in Ice.
So I'll say that in Ice, which is, nominally mostly Carnathy cold, I'll say that there's a tree that grows particularly, it blooms in the spring, but you only have like a good solid week to get anything from it. And, friends and paramours and couples will make bracelets using the leaves of the tree while they're in bloom.
Sorry, one more time. Kitty was deciding to nibble on my arm. Something about leaves and trees in bloom.
Yeah, so I was saying that basically there's a tree in Ice that is only in bloom. Like you only get to really enjoy it for like a week.
Mm-hmm.
And people will make bracelets using the leaves out of it.
Cool.
While they're colorful. We'll say it's probably like a cherry blossom, but not. Like
cool.
It's blue.
I want you to remember the smell of that flower.
Sure.
And just hold on to that for right now. Especially because bees and flowers. I'm going to give you actually a condition. Do you have a name for this flower? If not, I'll roll up something on break.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'll roll up something. Give me I'll put on your condition memory of the ice flower.
Okay.
And we'll come up with a better name for that at some point. Cool. And so in the book, this ritual specifically that you could learn is a ritual called Enliven. Enliven, I'm not sure if that is on the drop-down menu or in the character options.
Yes.
So Enliven, what it normally lets you do is give flesh and breath to an effigy. And I think I think I'll just leave it there for now. But I will say that the things you've been encountering, the wax mannequins, the wax people, might very well have been able to be brought to life using a ritual of this style.
Okay.
So yeah. If you want to actually learn it, it won't count for your burdens this incursion, but anybody can do that, even though it's on Asta's person. But if you want to like hold on to it after the incursion, you'll have to increase your burdens by 1. But it's there.
Okay. Is the ritual usable this incursion?
If you take the hour to learn it, yes.
Okay.
But if you do that, I'm going to increase the clock.
I was going to say. When are we ever going to have an hour to breathe? So not yet.
I mean, if you decide to spend 3 hunt tokens, you can have an hour to breathe. I'll give you an hour. Okay, so what am I looking at on the dice roller? I'm seeing a 4, but it looks like that was a risk roll.
Yeah, the cat interruption risk roll.
I was just rolling because the cat was interrupting.
Oh, okay. Theoban, it was your hunt roll. You got a 2 and a 3, so 3 high. You get no hunt tokens, and you encounter something terrible. Guys, these hunt rolls are really. Okay. So, You encounter something terrible. So the objective answer to what you're going looking for is you are looking at what was once a caravan being prepped to take someone to Dreadhold. It is now that you have a little bit more, well, now that you can see more in the dark, I think what you're looking at is like a totally smashed and wrecked, uh call it a carriage, but there are anti-magic wards on it to prevent someone from casting spells, magic, or anything of that nature. Because if you're going to take someone to Dreadhold, you want to neutralize their ability to do things like shapeshift into a tiny animal and fly out the window. And I think you would see that there were enchantments that were carved like directly into the sides and the roof of this now smashed caravan. And bees have already begun to build nests in it. And in fact, as you are looking around, I'm just going to say you get stung again, and you're going to have to make a risk roll to avoid
Bad stuff.
yeah, to avoid the hive getting its stingers deeper and deeper in you. So do you have, I believe you do have a skill. Yeah, focus will give you your second light die. What can go wrong here simply is your condition gets worse. Or actually you don't yet have the condition the hive is home. It is risking your mind here. So there's one light die, one dark die. We know what can go wrong if you don't succeed here. Devil's bargains. Anybody got any good ones?
No matter what, you start to hear Arina's inner thoughts and how hurt she is that that you acted like you were interested in her, and she then saw you with another man.
Yeah, right there on the quick draw. Yeah. I love that. I'll give you a really rough devil's bargain just to make things a little bit easier. You will lose your focus. You'll simply not be able to use that ability for the remainder of the incursion. Or I'll give you a condition that, you know, when you get rid of the condition, if you like rest, maybe you'll be able to get it back or something. But yeah.
I think I'm digging on the no matter what I hear Irina's
thoughts.
thoughts.
Yeah. All right, cool. 2 light, 1 dark. Blood and bones.
5 light.
5 light. So that is a success with a complication. You will hold steady. You do have the ability to re-roll. Aim for that 6 if you want. Your complication will be your complication will be not only will you hear Arina's thoughts, the hive will begin to hear yours. If you are, and so mechanically, I think that's certainly going to make stealth even more difficult, which is already impossible with Pastuche. So it's not really a complication, but it will be even harder to hide from
The bees.
The bees. If you're fine with that complication, actually no. Your complication. I'm going to change that. Your complication will be, because I have something better and something to help ratchet up the tension a little bit. The complication will be that one of the bodies in this caravan is going to get up and attack you. And it's going to be a fight. If you are okay with that complication, you can let the 5 stand. And you have to go at least one round of combat. But I'll let you disengage after that if you want. Um, but if you want to aim for a 6, you can add a dark die and re-roll.
I'm at ruin 4 right now.
You are at ruin 4 right now.
Oh.
I won't say, it's a complication.
Yeah.
You did get a 5. So what I'll say is,
Yeah.
it'll be hostile, but you can stay and fight. But if you want to like do any more treasure hunting in this room, you'll have to kill it.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with it jumping up
Okay, cool.
and attacking.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, uh, cool. So like as you're like digging through this, you're just absolutely wassailed by this panicked hum in your head. And it doesn't sound exactly like Arina's voice. It sounds like Arina's voice run through a hum filter.
Mhm.
Because of course it does. And it just sounds like it's not communicating to you like in language, but you're definitely getting this like external sense of panic, of loss, of absence. And then you get this sharp impression of danger, and then darkness. But coincidentally, as that darkness like sets in, this body that you thought was a corpse, wearing this dreadhold medallion, just like the one that you saw, only this one is actually inside the carriage, turns, and its head turns to an angle that shouldn't be natural. And you see honey just like dripping out the side of its mouth. And like in its nose and nostrils, what kind of look like boogers are golden and ambery of like this crusted dried honey. Its eyes are glowing with this same sort of lamplight fungus that you have, but it's just the eyes themselves are glowing. Bees kind of crawl out of its throat, and it like gives you this and then it starts to pull itself up, and it's gonna start reaching for you. As you take a step back away, it climbs up and sort of like flops onto the ground as it struggles to find its footing. Very zombie movie like, as it's trying to get its legs under it, but it's gonna get its legs under it, and it's gonna start coming for you. What all do the 4 of you do?
I would like to grab Asta's shoulder or elbow
Mm-hmm.
and just say, "Okay, we've got to go down the hole now. Come on, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go."
I can get behind running away.
Sure. The 4 of you, do I need to resolve anything else? I don't think.
I don't think so.
Cool. So the 4 of you go tumbling deeper into the hole that the giant digging monster made. And you go down this like, very pulpy, circle digging pattern tunnel that leads to some aqueducts. Very, underworld sewer kind of situation going on. In order to progress farther, you have to get sort of into this waist deep water and wade for a while, but you come up to basically a fork in the aqueducts, and you have to make a choice about which way you want to go here. Um, while this path is treacherous, it is relatively bee free. And if Pastuche gets in the water, I'll let him clear that stinky condition, because the water is not contaminated by like bee honey or anything weird like that. Um, if you just want to run blindly, I'll ask you right or left. But if you do want any more information, that would be probably a hunt roll.
Yeah.
Are
Is
we-
there any indication of? Yeah.
How? So, what would you like to do to indicate, or to sort of like set your direction? Are you going to be looking for Arina, and if so, how are you going to look for her? Or are you going to like look for danger of bees?
Could Arina count as prey?
Interesting. You are,
Especially if you're a little suspicious of her and her intentions toward your bestie.
Aw, bestie. Aw.
I love this. I love this. I will just let you know you are at 5 ruin. Okay. So you want to use your hunter ritual.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any skills or equipment that will help you here?
With finding her,
Yeah.
Magnifying glass?
there's always
I was going to say speed or vigilant. Well, I
I
mean,
was gonna
vigilance
say
is more defensive,
speed.
but speed.
Yeah. Speed I could see.
I could see speed.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about like I never use speed.
Yeah.
Like I need speedy
Yeah.
Asta more often.
Yeah, the thrill of the hunt. So you get one
Mhm.
light die, you have a dark die because it's a ritual. Um, what could go wrong here other than 6 ruin? Um, I think for me, the easy thing that could go wrong here is you cannot stop seeing uh, Arina as prey.
Oh, that's so good.
Because, I mean, obviously, I mean, you are suspicious of her, but I don't think, correct me
Like
if I'm
no, Mike,
wrong,
yeah,
Asta doesn't,
not right.
but you have to turn that on in order for the
Right.
ritual to
Oh,
work.
that's so good. That's so good.
So that's something I think could go wrong here. Also would be a good devil's bargain, but I kind of think um I mean more I think more simply like other things that could go wrong here are like either the ritual, you know, I don't really like the ritual doesn't work, but you could get like thrown into greater danger. That might also be a good devil's bargain too. Um, hmm. Anybody else got any ideas?
It's pretty obvious which way we shouldn't go down because a huge monster comes out of that way. And we have to fight it.
Okay, yeah. Um, that would also be a good devil's bargain too. So yeah, just like Arina ran into your the thing that made Arina her consciousness go dark is there and deadly and more dangerous than I, the GM, was planning. That's something that could go wrong. There we go. Devil's bargain. I'll offer a very simple one. The Ynthia clock goes up. What else? Anybody else got good devil's bargains here? I'll offer another one. Even even if you manage to suppress your hunter drive towards Arina, no matter what, you'll take a condition called the hunter or the huntress that basically just is like everything could be your prey now.
It really is. No, that could be good.
I could I could build off of that.
I was actually just starting to think you'll begin a lycanthropic transformation.
Yeah. Either that or yeah, Vaughn's beast, is seen as the ultimate hunt now. But either one. Why not both?
Ooh, yeah. No
Oh.
matter what, Vaunn is a rivalry with Vaughnn begins to form. I'll say no matter what, you begin to take a bestial. You begin to take on aspects of the beast or a beast.
Man, 3 of us on this group.
Welcome to Trophy, guys. Transformations are a thing.
We all wear somethings.
Well, you got some good devil's bargains. Any of them reaching out and grabbing you?
Yeah, I'm feeling like Huntress more than transformation for Asta.
Okay. Take a condition, the Huntress. And I believe that gives you 2 light, 1 dark. And let's hope for anything that isn't dark
All right.
6. Of course, now that I said it.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, somehow.
Ollie just rolled 3 1s, future us.
Yeah. This is a trip 1, and because the dark die is technically the highest, you cannot re-roll.
Oh, I don't know. I want to.
You can't.
Yeah.
You cannot re-roll, so it gets worse. The good news is your ruin doesn't go up.
Talking about her ruin, yeah.
Yay.
I think I'm going to separate you from the rest of the group. All right, Kat.
For now, till she comes back holding hands with Yinthia and kills us all.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a 5-minute break while I figure out what exactly this is going to turn into. I have some ideas, but I need to sketch a couple things down. So actually, let's go ahead and take a good, nice, juicy 10-minute break here. Let's come back at 25 past the hour. I will see you all there. Okay. So where we last left off, Asta rolled trip 1s, which means it's a 1 high in the dark die and can't be re-rolled. So it's going to get worse. And so I think what happens, I'll take the narration because it's a miss. I think what we see is Asta stop. Well, what does this ritual like? How does this ritual get cast? Let's start with that, Asta.
So I think since it's getting hearing the heartbeat of my prey, it's really just really taking a moment, focusing on my own heartbeat, listening to it, and it kind of gets faster as I'm imagining chasing after this prey. Then suddenly it switches over to whatever it is I'm hunting and their heartbeat.
Yeah, so it's very psychological is
Mhm.
kind of what I'm seeing. It's not like a, draw a circle of chalk, which you're waist deep in water anyways. So that'd be difficult. But so what I think everybody else sees is Asta stop and like close her eyes and start to focus, and she becomes like eerily uncomfortably still, to a point to where, like, even if you when anybody else looks at her, it's almost like the world is starting to get silent around her, and you start to like hear like the drips of water from far away, that are just always in sewers for some reason preternaturally. um you start to think you can like listen farther and farther down these passageways. And I think, Vaunn, as you like look over towards Asta, suddenly her head just snaps in her direction, eyes open, her irises are like crimson red, like the color of one of the moons of Eberron. And it's a look on her face. No, Ron is actually blue. That much I do know. Because I have a lycanthrope that is currently cursed by Ron. Um, uh, but you see like her eyes. Actually, what you see is that her pupils visibly elongate vertically and narrow down into little slits. Um, and it's a look you've seen before. It's the look that you get when your own transformation, when your own bestial form takes over. It's a look that Rani has in her eyes when she loses control of her form, and she jumps out, and it's like she pounces on you with this unreal strength. And for a moment you think that you're going to have to fight Asta, that she's lost control of herself and she's going to, it's going to be do or die. um and then suddenly Asta just takes off with this unreal speed down the passageway and rounds a corner and is gone. From Asta's perspective, you do hear the heartbeat of your prey. But the problem is that Arina is not a person. We know on a meta level that she's a bee. And you hear not only her heartbeat, but millions of them. And not only do you hear the millions of bees in these tunnels all around you in Wellslode, if you're going to hunt for prey, don't you want the biggest one? We'll meet Asta again shortly, as she's now hunting down the mother of millions. But everybody else, you do know the way that Asta went. I'll give you that much. And so if you want to, you can follow in her direction, or there is the other way. She didn't tell you what she was doing. She just suddenly ran off.
We may need
The
to let her get that out of her system.
Are you okay?
Oh yeah, I'm fine. I've had worse.
But we should go after her.
If you want to die,
Okay.
Like right now, if you went after her, that's probably what would happen.
She's never done anything like that before.
No.
Yeah. And then Theoban's going to look to the like next person he considers to be the leader of the group. He's going to look at Tuvo.
I love it goes Asta, Tuvo, Vaunn in order of precedence.
We should probably follow her at a relaxed pace, but quick.
That wasn't a sexy "I'll kill you" pounce. That was just a regular one.
There's a difference?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are all I'll kill you pounces sexy or just the sexy ones?
No.
That was a regular I'll kill you
Yeah.
pounce.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was sexy,
felt
but
this-
it wasn't
Yeah.
for sexy reasons. It was for just regular.
Oh, because I did feel the sexual tension.
Sure.
Yeah.
Obviously.
This way, Tuvo?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
So, the tunnel left by the digger leads to aqueducts. Waist deep in water, the treasure hunters can follow the dark aqueducts deeper into the city-sized hive. While the path is treacherous, it's relatively bee-free. In this direction, the aqueduct will open up into a cavernous area. The treasure hunters find that they are in the commercial district of strangely quiet warehouses and factories. The air is going stale. Your set goal for this location: find Lucas's notes about the queen and the bee's knowledge of Enliven. As you step out into, I imagine it's kind of like one of those sewer grate kind of things. It's you step out of an aqueduct and you just see this open cavernous space, buildings carved directly out of the stone. Somewhere in the water pathway ahead of you, you see yet another human body face down, as if we haven't seen enough of those already. Those of you with better hearing, which I think would probably be Tuvo and Vaunn, in the distance, and knowing this is a cavernous space, there could be some auditory things going on here. You hear faintly the sound of crying and humming. There is a nondescript metal door near to you guys that seems to be dug into the wall itself. And let's see, how do I describe this? A sign on it reads, "Looters forfeit all safety." And beneath it seems to be signed by someone named Lucas Boltol. I will put his name in chat.
So we're going in here, right?
Sure.
We're going in there.
As I don't feel very safe as it is.
And then a sign that reads "Alchemy" is featured, featuring painted sparks dangles from a single bolt, almost falling off of the wall right by this door. Yeah. So yeah, what do you guys do?
Let's do some looting since we're not
Okay.
safe.
Can I
Yeah.
Can I let Pastuche splash around in the water a little bit?
Yeah, go ahead and get rid of that condition.
Yeah.
He no longer stanky.
He's still a stanky
I mean, he's still
boy.
stanky boy, just
Yeah.
not bee
Just not to
pheromone
be
stinky.
pheromone stanky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because now now the scent
Wet
of
dog smell.
Yeah.
yeah,
Wet dog.
yeah, which washes downriver and awakens the watcher in the water.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Vaunn, you said you want to do some looting. Could I get a little bit more
Yeah.
specific kind of looting that you want to do, or how you want
Well,
to go about
obviously,
looting?
if someone put up a sign, then there's something in here. So just
Okay.
gonna
Are you
go
just
get
gonna
whatever that is.
Are you gonna just like bang down the door, shoulder check it?
I mean, is the door locked? Is there any other way to get in? I mean, I'm gonna try to open it first.
Okay. Cool. Give me
Alchemist.
a hunt roll. The door is definitely locked.
Okay.
But go ahead and give me a hunt
Yeah.
roll. Are you just destruction?
Yeah,
Okay. 2 die hunt roll, please.
there's a nice 6. I like that.
Okay.
So does this door look newer, or does this like impromptu, or does this look like a repurposed door?
No, it looks as though the door it looks as though the door has been like, it's not new as in since the bees probably began taking over. Like it's older than a couple weeks old. Um it looks like it was around for a while. It's part of Wellslode.
Okay.
On a 6, you get a hunt token. I also give you the objective answer, which is that the door is trapped. But on a 6, what I'm gonna say is yeah, you're not like in any kind of immediate danger. So I think what I'm going to say is instead, you hear a click as your foot goes down onto a pressure plate. And Tuvo, you watch the wall opposite open up, and there's a crossbow there, but the bolt's already been fired.
Okay.
And that's, I think, when Vaunn, you would probably notice that there's like blood kind of like on your spot where you were standing. The story being told here is that somebody else tried to break in, triggered the trap, died, and their corpse has since been moved somewhere else. In fact, it might be that body that's floating in the water nearby, or it might be something else. Who knows?
Oh, this guy's lost us our game. Let's see what's in here.
Sure. But the door is locked. So the hunt roll gets you your token. But you have destruction. I'm kind of willing to just like let you be able to just like smash this door in.
Yeah.
Why not?
Like not the door itself, but the door jam.
Yeah. Yeah. So you're just like pulp kicking the door in, right?
He doesn't kick the door in. He helps the door in with his shoulder.
Okay. Got it. So yeah. Inside, the floor is slick with broken crockery, caustic foams, spilled oils, glass, and paper. The shelves on the shelves are taxidermied burrowing animals, but their skin has been replaced with transmuted glass. Standing in one corner of the room is it has to be a pretty big room, because standing in one corner of the room is a taxidermied Ormvorax, and it's like standing upright, and it's like but its internal organs are visible through a ventral glass pane, and last but not least, there is a person inside. Looks to be human. and he's pacing about in the back of the room, and still riding that 6 from the hunt roll. He hasn't noticed you yet. Even though you smashed in his door. Actually, no, if you smashed in the door, I'll
Why don't I grab something real quick so I earn that hunt token before he can object to me swiping something?
Sure, you want to trade in a
The
hunt token for a
nearest
piece of treasure?
something.
Cool.
Just in case he's got another crossbow in here that he plans to fire himself.
Yeah, you find you find probably just some, oh gosh, what am I thinking of? Actually, here, you just find like right on the inside of the door, you find a crossbow and 40 bolts. You can use it as combat equipment, or it is worth 1 gold. But as you smash through the door and spot this crossbow and grab it, the man turns and looks in your direction, like, and his head snaps in the way that like animals kind of do when, like, deer when they're alerted. Only he doesn't have fear in his eyes. If it were any darker, you wouldn't actually see him, because again, we're now pretty well deep in Wellslode. But when his eyes like kind of lock onto you, his irises like flare with this like bioluminescent purple, and then pustules on the side of his neck, also bioluminescent, sort of like do this pulsing sort of like flare. And he says, he just kind of like mutters to himself and goes back to what he was doing. You hear him say the words that you can kind of hear him mutter are things like, oh, the queen. They're making more queens, and they'll make more queens, and there'll be more queens. Something, something, something. He continues muttering to himself, and then from outside you hear living wax.
Does it look like there's anything else in here to take?
Oh, there's
or
tons of stuff in here to take.
Oh, okay. Does this guy seem like he's gonna pop off? Does he seem like he could help us?
Tuvo's gonna step in behind Vaunn and look around to see.
Yeah, please. Let's take a bunch of stuff from here. Before that though, like, was that me turning my hunt token in so I don't have a hunt token?
Mm-hmm.
Or
yeah, I assumed you wanted to turn in a hunt token, get a piece of treasure. Right. That's what it sounded like to me. But so yes,
then would this heavy crossbow be worth
1 gold?
1 gold. Okay.
Yeah.
Carry on then.
Yeah. If you want to look around inside, that would be a hunt roll.
Sure.
I think appraisal works pretty easily here. Give me a 2-die hunt roll. Cool. It's a 4. You get a hunt token, but you encounter something terrible, and the something terrible is very simple. This guy is gonna see you rooting around.
Yeah, I'm immediately cashing in that token, but also
cool. Yeah, you find a sample of royal jelly in a vial labeled queen. I will tell you right now, it reduces ruin by 1 when consumed.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It is worth 1 gold, however, in case you want
Can
to sell it.
mechanical question, can something like that bring you back from the cusp of Ruin 6? Or is it Ruin 6 is done?
Ruin 6 is usually, the short answer is mechanically it shouldn't.
Okay.
I can see some fictional positioning where it might, but Ruin 6 can mean a bunch of different things because it can mean you go run off screaming into the dark. It can mean
Right. Okay.
You become a hostile NPC. It can mean you just die. Rules as written, it should not be allowed.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm always open to bending that if like fictionally just makes sense. But it will not revive the dead. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, this guy is gonna come at you. So at this point, it's if you don't want to engage him, it's gonna be a risk roll to avoid him, but you'll have to leave the building because he's going to become just an ongoing present threat, or you can fight him.
I could shoot him if you want.
Just immediately.
I've got the crossbow, so.
I'm fine with fighting him.
Okay. What's Theoban been up to this whole while? These guys are going to be fighting in some close ass quarters.
Brushing a dog.
I heard somebody scream something about wax people outside, and I don't like the vibe of the guy in here. Even though he said something very interesting about queens, and my own princess has run away from me. Instead, I'm gonna go figure out what this wax screaming is about.
Sure.
Instead, I'm gonna turn on my heel. I'm gonna say, Vaunn and Tuvo got that. I'm gonna talk to somebody else.
Sure. Fantastic. So it sounds like Tuvo and Vaunn are going to be participating in a combat. I would love each of you to tell me how you are vulnerable and roll a weak die, please. This thing that you are about to fight, hello cat, going hog wild, got the zoomies, love to see it, is endurance 7. Doable.
Been a while since Vaunn fired a crossbow.
Fantastic.
Tuvo is entirely dependent on Vaughn's crossbow skills here and isn't even giving this guy a second thought, which is probably not a good idea.
So there is something else you can do with ranged weapons in combat. I will share those rules. I'll just sort of like copy and paste them. You can use it simply as a weapon, which is what you're doing right now. And it functions like any other weapon in combat. There's no like ranges in this game. You can, however, if you want, not engage it in combat directly, but use it in an attempt to reduce your target's endurance.
Oh.
It does involve a little bit of risk. So I said you have 40 bolts. We sort of have in Trophy Gold, we have a sort of like narrative quiver. That's what those 3 boxes are next to the weapon slots. Those are actually for ranged weapons. And so basically what it comes down to is you would make a sort of modified risk roll. But you basically risk 1, 2, or 3 boxes of ammunition. And instead of Devil's Bargains, you add a light die for each. So you don't choose. You just add a light die for each unmarked slot of ammunition. Oh, no, it is you're willing to risk. For each light die that comes up a 1, 2, or 3, you mark a slot of ammunition. And when all 3 boxes are marked, you're just out of ammo. Okay. But if you succeed, the monster's endurance is reduced by 1. If you get a 6, the monster's endurance is reduced by 2. So, Vaunn, do you want to?
Yeah, let's try it. That sounds cool.
Sure. then actually I don't think you would roll a I don't think you would roll I don't think you would join the combat directly, as in use your weak die.
Mhm.
I think it would just be Tuvo. Um, yeah. So, um, make a risk roll to reduce endurance is normal, but instead of Devil's Bargains, you add a light die for each unmarked slot of ammunition you're willing to risk. So, how many of those boxes of ammo are you willing to risk?
Let's try one for
Sure.
now.
I think I don't think the equipment itself gives you your first light die. Do you have any skills that would help you here?
Death.
You know what? Sure, I'll buy it. So you have two light die. Uh, this is this is. I mean, it's combat, but I feel like you're keeping a distance, right? Are you
Yeah.
gonna? Yeah.
So
So
I'm rolling a risk roll, and then
yeah,
he's gonna roll a combat roll.
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a two light die risk roll, please.
Roll a 6.
Okay. So the monster's endurance is reduced by 2, and
Cool.
for each light die that comes up, 1, 2, or 3, mark a slot of ammunition.
Okay.
So there is a 3, so mark 1 box of ammunition, please.
That was cool though.
Yeah. So yeah, you plink off a shot, like I think, and I think you just like tear off one of its arms. And because this is a rather zombie-ish kind of thing, however, unlike the wax things that you've been fighting, this thing bleeds. It is a person, or it was, but uh, he kind of roars in pain, but he's still coming at Tuvo. Tuvo, this is going to be a one die risk roll or a one die combat roll, but the endurance that you are fighting this thing at now is 5.
Okay.
I believe, because it was 7 to begin with, so -2 is 5. Yeah.
Okay. Uh 2.
Okay. You don't kill it.
Mhm.
But nor does it get a hit off on you. So yeah, just narrate this little bit of fight.
And this is exactly what Tuvo wasn't prepared for. Like he's got his dagger at his hip, but he thought this thing would, Vaunn gets off the shot and then it just keeps surging forward and he has to get his blade up just in time.
Fantastic. Let's cut over to Theoban. You were following the sounds of like this like humming and crying, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, you come across this half collapsed building, missing its roof at the center, and like you do that thing where you like peek around the corner and there's just bees. It looks like something out of a military movie. There's like a patrol, like a delta of 3 bees just like flying this slow like patrol over. You see more bees like uh walking because they're too big to actually fly, uh that go kind of just like walking by. Um but yeah, if you and then you do also like you definitely hear the sounds of like people crying, and I use people as in plural, as in a lot. Just several voices on the like, but if you want to get closer, it's going to be a little risky.
You know, I feel like there's people, and where there's people, there could be my person.
There could be.
There could be Arina. So I think he's gonna go for it.
Okay.
And I think I don't have too much fun stuff on me. Because I don't wanna
Are you just being like a fantasy rogue kind of person? Because I'm going to start with the
I
hunt
think
roll.
yeah, I think I'm gonna just do my best to be as sneaky as possible. I don't really have any
Okay.
skills or anything. Yeah,
Start with a one die hunt roll.
let's do it. Let's see how this goes for us.
Oh, I should say before you roll, if you haven't rolled already, do remember that in your backpack, you
I
do
do
have
have the
two quantum slots that you can just like reach out and pull something. And if there's anything you think you can find in there that would help you here, you can get that second light die.
um no well there's some honey.
I mean, if you want to like set up a little like put some honey up and then, go a different direction, I can buy that.
Yeah, I think I will put some honey in my backpack
Sure.
and I will do that.
So you get 3 uses of it to start with, and I will say go ahead and mark that down to 2 if that's what you want to do. And
Absolutely.
yeah, like I said, the way I see that fictionally playing out is like you put some honey down, and of course the bees are going to come investigate, and you do the pulp thing of like you're on
Go
the other
around.
side, yeah,
Yeah.
and you use that for your opening. So yeah, go ahead and give me a 2 die hunt roll, please.
Okay. I had already rolled one, so I will
Go ahead and roll
roll
another. Yeah,
another.
go for it.
Okay, a 4 and a 3.
Okay, so 4 high. So you do get a hunt token. You do encounter
Mhm,
something terrible.
mhm.
I will remind you of 3 hunt tokens
Yes.
currently if you want to do any major or accomplish a set goal. Um, so you haven't been noticed yet, although that might change with the something terrible. But what we see is Theoban comes around the corner, gets into this sort of hollowed out building, and you see humans, Korvar, maybe even a dwarf or two, a gnome, um, and they're being. You see a bee like go up to one of them and shove into their mouths this sort of it's almost like grass, like a fibrous bundle of plants. And the people have been forced to do this enough that they know what the bees want. They sort of like chew and chew and chew, and then they spit it back out. And then a sort of drone bee, a larger drone bee, like grabs it and picks it up. And you see like, a group of these carrier bees with these like chewed up fibrous plant stuff pick it up and fly up and fly away. Um, I think on a 4, your something terrible is going to be that uh, a more warrior oriented bee uh, so the bees like go over and investigate your little honey trap, haha, pun. um but one of the more militant bees um goes on high alert and goes on a patrol, and at this point it's going to be probably a risk roll to do whatever it is that you want to do next. So what would you like to do now?
Um, I think Theoban's gonna see the people in here and they don't seem to be wax people because they're chewing stuff up. They seem normal.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to try to
I will say there are a lot of bees here. There are now,
yeah.
mind you, the bees that are like doing the operation, you get the sense that they're non-combatants. Like they don't even have stingers. They're
Yeah.
large. They're about the size of like corgis, but they are clearly, worker bees, for lack of a better term. But
Yeah.
there are more militant ones on patrol.
I wonder if he could hide in with all of the other people.
Absolutely, I think you could.
Yeah, I think
Um,
he's going to like wedge his way in with the other people and at least for now pretend to be one of the townsfolk.
sure. Um, yeah, I don't think you need to. I don't think you need to roll for that necessarily. Yeah, you come up to a group of people. Let's go ahead and cut back to the combat really quickly. Um, Vaunn, you can't really lower its endurance anymore, I don't think. Because then you could just like endurance cheese like any monster in the game. Um, so now I'll say you can like probably want to join the combat right proper. Um, and you've already rolled your weak point. So Vaunn, go ahead and give me a 3-die combat roll, please, since you are actively joining the fight. Cool. Well, it's dead. Because that's 10. And I think you both had 5 weak points, and none of those dice are 5s. So Vaunn, you rolled. So Tuvo, how do you set Vaunn up for a killing strike here?
So, curved ritual knife in both of his hands, Tuvo just does the thing where he just takes a long side step towards, the probably closer into the warehouse. So that way it has to turn with Tuvo and open itself completely up from behind.
And Vaunn, how do you want to do this?
I'm gonna aim for its head this time.
Crossbow bolt goes right through it, and he gives out that wonderful zombie and just like potato sacks to the floor. Cool. Yeah. So
So this guy was holed up in here and it was cognizant enough at some point to recognize that some things had gone down.
yeah. And you see there are like some sketches. It was some kind of, or at least this place looks like it was some kind of uh I mean, obviously with all the taxidermied animals.
Yeah, so that's kind of interesting too. If they're being taxidermy with alchemically treated glass. But it definitely seems like he or previously at some point knew something, and we do still need to figure out what is happening here. And he was muttering about more queens being made.
Sure. Yeah. Well, one of you, whoever wants to, go ahead and give me a 5-die gold roll. Because it was endurance 5 when you killed him.
Cool, I rolled nothing.
Good
for me.
Fantastic. But you do find on his person, or like, are you guys going to look around the room at all anymore?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool.
Yeah, let's take all this stuff.
Cool. Who has Who has fewer hunt tokens? You both have 0 hunt tokens. Doing wonderful. I think the one to make sense here to like look around this place for anything useful is probably Tuvo.
Okay.
Would you agree? In terms of like looking through papers and records and things like that. I just
Appraising items,
yeah,
etc.
absolutely. So Tuvo, go ahead and give me a 2 die hunt roll, please.
Sure thing. Ooh.
6. You get a hunt token. On top of that, you find a series of sketches of warped bee and human or humanoid forms. Actually, yeah, this is Eberron. So, like, you find sketches of like hybrid gnome bees, warped Korovar forms, the like Vitruvian man style sketches of like uh, part uh, elf, part bee. You find notes about other ways to hybridize and transmutate. Um, yeah, you find another journal documenting a meat to glass transmutation experiment with medical illustrations. Upon closer inspection, it includes instructions for how to create vials of transmute to glass liquid from materials that, as you look around the lab, are there.
Okay.
Vaunn, I think you find some bandages, healing salves, in an ointment jar labeled Mother's Kiss.
Mommy's
Does
kisses.
that all have a gold?
I will say the notes. So I will say the notes are a significant contributor to your ultimate goal, but they do not have intrinsic gold value themselves.
Okay.
But I think you guys are close to coming down with. It's a major clue in terms of like what is going on here. This is stuff you can present to the Sentinel Marshal, and
Okay.
so ultimately it's worth like what, 8 gold, you know.
Sure.
But you cannot
Also, like the bandages, I could fix my flayed arm.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, instead of adding them to your inventory, just go ahead and take off flayed arm, and I'll even let you take off stung.
Ooh.
Um,
And as we all know, mommy's kisses fix all boo-boos.
they do, in fact. Fantastic. Back at Theo, and I promise Asta will get back to you in just a second. Yeah, are you just like talking to these people? What's going on with Theoban?
Yeah, I think he's going to be trying to get some information from them to figure out like what's going on exactly and try and lay low for a hot second until he figures out like what the bee rotation looks like.
Yeah, so I think with soothing, and you already have 3 hunt tokens, I could make you roll hunt for information here. But I think instead, because you already have 3 hunt tokens, and you have soothing, uh, yeah, you see, you talk to these people, um, and one of them, a young man, young Korovar man, says, one of us, they're making us. We don't know why they're making us. That's what they do. They bring us this stuff and they make us chew, and they and then you have to spit it back out, and then they take it away. I don't know what they want it for, but one of us, a man named Lucas, he's an alchemist. He escaped, and he said he had a plan to deal with the bees, but that's been, I don't know how much time has passed. It might have been hours ago.
I see. Do you know what it is they're having us chew up and spit out?
It just
Is it
seems
just
like
grass?
grass or fungus. Though it might be, it might be uh, some of that lamplight fungus.
I see.
I don't know any alchemy. I don't know what it could possibly be used for, and but some of us, and he looks around, and sure enough, you look and notice that like some of the people, their throats are beginning to glow bioluminescently. Not a lot, but like just a little. Like you can start to see. Oh, that's what I'll say is like you start to see their veins, but not in like the corruption poison kind of way. Just like they're beginning to sort of glow.
Okay. Um, I do not know if I can get everyone out. There are a lot of bees, and there is a weird reaction with the bees and this fungus. This I know from experience.
Get everyone out. No one's getting out. I mean, Lucas did, but that was lucky, and we haven't seen him. There's no reason to believe that he escaped.
There's every reason to believe that he escaped. There's so many people who have escaped.
Where? Where Where are you from?
I'm from Bastion. We were sent to find out what happened here.
Bastion. I see. No. They all. It all happened so suddenly. The one day we're just living our lives normally. The next day, there are bees everywhere. They're rounding us up and putting us in these camps like this. Honestly, it feels like it's the war all over again.
Hey, hey, it's okay. I promise. This isn't the war. It is magical bee stuff. And if there is anything that I know about our people, it is that magical bee stuff can't do anything to us that we haven't already lived through.
And it's then that you notice the same way that you came in, you see Asta. Let's take a 5-minute break.
Ah!
So Asta, when next you sort of regain your senses,
Oh no.
you're someplace, even with your dwarven dark sight, like nothing around you looks at all like dwarven or goblin architecture. It wouldn't be dwarven, it's repurposed goblin city. It doesn't look like any humanoid architecture. The air around you is warm and close and sweet. You can taste sugar in the air just by breathing. The sound is more felt through the air, just the humming of tens of thousands of drones as they pass through the amber walls around you. The walls drip with an obscene abundance of honey. And ahead of you is an open cavity. The mother of millions convulses in front of you and delivers an egg right before your eyes. Between you and the queen, stand still, humanoid forms, unperturbed by the bee-filled atmosphere. Bees crawl freely over their faces, in and out of their mouths, over their unblinking eyes. And there you see the bodies of your friends, Vaunn, Theoban, Tuvo. You have a set goal here. Torch the hive and reclaim the city. As you walk, your boots stick to the floor from honey. You have to sort of pull a little harder to just make even sort of forward progress. The mother of millions is a bee the size of a bear with an elongated abdomen and light swallowing intelligent eyes. A sticky tongue emerges, and occasionally from a dark beak. Trapped in some of the honeycombs to her side, you see the bodies of these copies of young human women, blonde hair, closed eyes. Secunda. And as you step into the room, no less than 6 Secundas in honeycombs all open their eyes behind these golden shields. And you hear a voice that is one and many. Welcome. What do you do?
Oh, shoot. So, um, oh, can I tell if my friends, is there any sign of life for my friends? Or is it, can I tell? Is that possible in any way? Like
How would you check?
Um, I guess yeah, could I like lean down and like check someone's pulse or just like
Sure you
see?
can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if
It'll
let's
be
see.
It'll be a hunt roll. What skill or equipment are you going to use to help you here?
All right.
The power of friendship.
Um, so it feels like a stretch, but I'm kind of thinking protection.
Tell me a little bit more about how protection will help you
Like
here.
I'm thinking both like she's a guard and she's like someone who's used to like protecting, like I'm thinking like maybe some of her training, like both protecting people, making sure, but also you kind of have to figure out, okay, who do you take back, who do you don't? Um, and so it's yeah, maybe I'm not. I'm like either that or magnifying glass. But but I think but I'm thinking like the idea of trying to I'm like I don't have enough time to use vigilance and watch over them, but
If you think based on your description that you would get a second die on your hunt roll, I'll let you have it. I will let you be the final arbiter there.
all right. That's hard. Oh, um, yeah, I think I'm gonna take it.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like such a parent or a teacher when I like phrase it like that. Like if you think that you've been good enough to get a cookie,
Oh,
but no,
mhm.
I really do genuinely mean like if you
Yeah,
think it would get you there,
yeah.
yeah. Um, like I said, it's a very forged in the dark kind of approach to things, where it's really your story. I can tell you that you have one hunt die or two. Uh, so
All right.
go for it if you like that.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So well,
That's great. That's
The-
great.
The good news is you don't lose all your hunt tokens.
Yay.
I will point out that there are 5 hunt tokens on the board. But the bad news is you just encounter something terrible. And oh, by gosh, by golly. I'm going to hold on to it for right now. But I do have an idea here. The objective information, because again, hunt rolls, you do get the objective answer to your question. They're not. They are not your friends. They look like your friends. They sound like your friends. And it's probably Vaunn first, whose head turns towards you.
Oh.
And yeah, it's probably Vaunn. Like you said, you were like checking pulses and things like that. Vaughn's hand comes up and gently grasps yours. And he says, "Why are we here?"
And I'm like, because these are my friends, but it's clear they're not my friends. She's like, I, you're not Vaughan.
I'm not Vaughan. Who am I?
I don't know, but you're not Vaughn.
I'm not Vaughan. I'm Vaughan. Let's cut back to
Uh-huh.
let's cut back to Theoban. Asta comes up to you and Asta, you come up to Theoban and uh and you say to Theoban, "I've been looking everywhere for you."
What? No, you ran away.
I ran away and now I'm back.
Did you apologize to Vaughan?
I apologize to Vaughan.
Okay.
Where did you go?
Where did you go?
I went deeper. I went I don't remember. It was dark.
Dark?
I got lost.
For you? Dark?
It was very dark.
So we should get these people out of here. I think that there's a weird thing happening with like the moss.
We should get these people out of here. Where should we take them?
Do you know what happened to Arina, by the way? You chased after her, and I just want to make sure that she is okay.
Arina, I chased after her. I wanted to make sure that she's okay. She's okay. Arina's okay.
Where is she?
She's deeper. She got lost.
But she's okay?
She's going back to where we're going. Where are we taking these people?
Theoban is like, a couple red flags here. And he's gonna say, we have to take them up.
Up. What's after up?
Mm, Further up. All the way up.
All the way up.
And then we have to take them back to where we had said we would take them. You remember?
I don't remember. I'm having trouble remembering.
Asta, can you just at least take care of these bees? I am not very good, and I don't think that Pastuche can take care of them.
I can't. There's too many.
I believe in you.
I can't fight the bees. You can't fight the bees. Meanwhile, back in the panic room or the alchemy lab, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, what are you guys have killed that person who attacked you? Uh, you've basically looted this place. Um, Now what do you guys do?
What did we come here for?
I don't
We're
know.
supposed to find
So I've been looking over these notes. I'm fairly confident I can make a glass chipmunk, but also this is weird. I still don't know what happened to this guy. He was transmuting things to glass and left extensive notes about that.
what does that have to do with bees?
That's what I've been trying to figure out. I think it's a different. I think that's just a mad alchemist solving any problem with mad alchemy. But
Okay, so this isn't what we need to know then.
I think there's a little bit here. I think the notes on what's going on with these bees is pretty intense, but there's a lot of papers here, and there's definitely the scrawlings of someone who could have used some Jurassicotherapy. But I think
Okay.
we've got everything now that we can get out of here. We should probably go see if the others are still alive.
Oh yeah, where'd the new kid go?
The princess or the other one?
No, the new kid.
Oh, well, I guess he didn't come in. That's fine. We should probably go see. He's been quiet and things probably shouldn't be too quiet. We need to find Asta too. Maybe the other one,
What other one?
the dog.
Oh yeah, the dog. Of course, Pastuche, a good pal.
Yeah, the other stragglers, we'll see. But come on.
So you guys are heading back out. Um, the moment you step outside, you have to immediately duck back inside because a bee patrol goes flying overhead and was seconds away from spotting you guys. You know, very very war story pulp kind of thing going on. And that's basically my way of saying like the alert has been stepped up a little. But similarly, both of you can hear that same sort of crying and humming from a distance. There's also, yeah, it's kind of it still in this area, or you could try and find a way. You have completed the set goal. You found Lucas's notes um about the queen and the bee's knowledge of Enliven. They are in the documents that you found. And again, it's in short, it confirms the theory that we kind of set up earlier that the bees are using the Enliven ritual that you found to animate beeswax. Yeah.
How much are we getting for each person that we save? Didn't we have a deal like that? Or am I remembering wrong?
Not for each person that you save. The Sentinel Marshal said he would give you 2 gold each for just knowledge of what is going on in Wellslode.
We don't actually have to save the people.
Correct.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
What a Vaunn way to put that.
Yeah, let's cut back to the 6th form heart. We are so yeah, Asta. Yeah, Vaunn is here and
So I'm realizing, like, yeah, these aren't my friends. And all of the blonde ladies that are exactly alike probably aren't really people. And there's a bear-sized bee. Um, oh my God, wax pastiche. So I'm thinking, okay, how do we destroy this room? Because hot tokens are going. So I'm like, so yeah, I guess I'm thinking I'm looking around. What I'd really like to do is try to get one of these bee people to help me, or all of them to help me. But I don't know that that's going to be very easy. Um, but yeah, I guess maybe looking around, see like if we're going for torch the hive, and of course, like, and I feel like Asta's the sort of person who's like, yeah, probably the best thing to do is just like set this on fire and leave. Um, is there anything that's looking like flammable, or maybe not flammable, maybe there's columns, we knock them down, the bees get squished, I don't know, are we looking around the room, is there anything that could um you know lots of destruction all at once, she's really like WWVD, what would Vaunn do? But like,
I will tell you this.
yes.
You can look for a hunt you can look via a hunt roll for something. But I will say, like, on anything less than a 6,
Mm-hmm.
the bees are like, the something terrible is going to be that the bees notice that you have hostile intent. They figure that out pretty quickly. Or
Okay.
the paranoia of the queen. I will also say that you can accomplish a set goal if the hunters, on the meta level, decide to collectively pool 3 hunt tokens together and spend them. So I will put this out to the table. Is that something you guys are interested in doing, or do you want to leave Asta to swing here? Vaunn, you have no say in this matter because you have no hunt tokens, which is just the most Vaunn way to be.
100%. Yeah. Ask is smart. She'll figure it out, or she won't, and then she'll die.
And I'll say, like, this is not like a conversation your characters are having. This is
right.
Yeah.
No, I definitely would put a hunt token or my hunt token towards this.
Yeah, I'm perfectly okay with using all of Theoban's tokens to accomplish this.
As Daddy Big Bucks over here,
you don't have to. I'm just putting that on the table.
I am happy, if
please help us, Father.
I'll set all of Secundas on fire one by one.
And each of them will deserve it individually. If Tuvo puts one in, I would happily put one in.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Each of you go ahead and mark off a hunt token. Because I was going to say no, I don't think there is. Right. I was going to say, like, I think there's just too much honey for, like, the wax itself to be flammable.
Mm-hmm.
So let's collectively come up with how this is accomplished, because the set goal is torch the hive to reclaim the city. So what does this look like?
So, because independently of Asta, we found an alchemy lab.
Yes. Um, Asta, do you have any equipment on you that could like start a fire?
So,
And
do
I'm
you have?
like, do I need to use that
If
last slot for some
Yeah, I was
fire
gonna say.
starting equipment? And we just
Here's a,
start
here's I'm not
fires in
gonna
every single excursion from now on.
here's I'm not gonna make you like because you're spending hunt tokens on this, I'm not gonna make
Hmm.
you like add to your equipment.
Yeah.
But then I think it's fair to say that like,
Oh, I've got an idea.
what is
Yeah.
your idea?
Well, if you remember last session, good boy Theoban dropped a bunch of candles. And we don't know what happened to those candles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
And so I think fake Theoban here probably has some candles. Might have scooped those up. And so yeah, you find a candle and how Asta, how do you like I get the sense that you're doing this with like a certain level of like duplicity, right?
Right. No, I'm kind of thinking like maybe can I trick these people into like carrying candles around? Like okay, can I outsmart the wax people?
Yeah, I think you can.
Okay.
I because you spent hunt tokens to do explicitly
Right,
that.
right, right. So that's what I'm thinking is I'm trying to think is like maybe using like the repeating stuff to get them to repeat things to each other. Um, and then oh yeah, so like what if I use the repeating to get them to repeat things to each other to make them think some one of them is giving each other orders to like set something on fire to help the queen. The queen is cold, we need to help the queen.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah. So like one of them asks like, why are we here? I'm trying to remember. And maybe Asta says something like, "Oh, I'm here to help the queen. Of course, I want to help the queen, or I want to join the hive." Maybe,
Yes.
and it's like, "Oh yeah, here's how we join the hive." And
Mm-hmm.
here, you give each of them a candle, and uh, Eberron's a wide enough magic world that I'll even say that like you don't need matches. You just like, it's a cantrip to like start to start a candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Snap, you do the Thanos snap and a fire starts. Would you think that would be like a spell or a cantrip that Asta might have just on hand?
I'm like, could she have a spark on her? I guess that's an equipment too, but just like, yeah, I think there would be something she would have to like, because I feel like that's really easy.
Yeah, yeah. Like I
Yeah,
said, this is Eberron. Like, you know,
she's trying to quit smoking, and yeah, like, but it's hard
um,
when you've got the cool magic.
um, yeah. So yeah, you start these candles, and I will say there is enough because like bees wax is incredibly flammable, even though the honey like would drown a bunch of it. Um, there's like you find just enough like dry wax to start this fire. Now here's something I'll tell you though.
Mm-hmm.
The Mother of Millions is this massive, even for Eberron terms, supernatural being. If you were to bring back proof of her death, it'd be worth some money.
Mm-hmm.
You have just set this whole chamber on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the wax, your wax not friends, um, like try and put it out. Instantly, like the wax chambers of the sixth form heart begin to collapse and melt, and like smoke begins to fill the chamber instantly. The Mother of Millions is defenseless. Um, you can kill her if you want.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, I'm not even going to require a roll for it.
Oh,
Um,
wow. So yeah, I'm getting my halberd out. I'm just like,
Um, actually, no, this is a combat.
okay,
This is
okay.
a combat.
I did not think I'd get off that easy. So
I mean, like I said,
yeah.
well, I'll put it to you this way. You can leave the chamber
Mm-hmm.
if you want.
Right.
No combat, no risk roll to do so whatsoever.
I'll do
If
the
you,
combat.
okay. Mother of Millions is an endurance 4 creature.
All right.
How are you vulnerable?
Um, let's say there's starting to be enough smoke in there in the air, that I might be getting a little lightheaded.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a weak point.
All right. Oh, this is great. It's a 4, which it doesn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it'd
just
be
don't
fine.
roll a 4 on combat.
I just don't roll a 4 in combat. We'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
All
And
right.
you have 1 piece of armor in case you do.
Right, right. No, this is going to be okay. This is
Be
going to be the
fine.
best. This will be fine.
This will be fine.
Uh-huh.
Combat 1 roll, please.
All right.
Please tell me it's a 4.
It's a 4. It's a 4. Oh God, it's a 4. Oh.
Well, you can mark
Well,
armor.
I've got armor. I've got armor, and so yeah, like I'm gonna like Xena it, like, because it's my gauntlets. Um, like, and you know, like cut off her head, and there we are. There we are. Well, there's armor marked. This is great.
Cool. Go ahead and quickly give me a gold 4 roll, please.
All right.
And you're just going to take the head?
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the head. Oh, hey,
What'd you get? Oh, you
I
got
got 1.
cool. So here's the thing. Go ahead and add the head of the Mother of Millions to your inventory. I will tell you what it's worth when we're done with the incursion.
Okay.
But you also find something else. Actually, I'll go ahead and give this one to you. You accumulate enough royal jelly to be worth 1 gold, or it will reduce your ruin by 1 if consumed.
Oh wow. Yeah, that sounds good.
Cool. So yeah, add a jar of royal jelly to your inventory.
Oh, this is
Cool.
okay.
Well, that went well.
Yeah.
Best 3 hunt tokens you ever spent.
Yay.
Meanwhile, back up in that sort of commercial district, Asta, you were just overcome with this sudden pain and confusion, and it feels like your head is splitting open and you howl and throw your head back. Theoban, you notice the bees all of a sudden, like something just happened. It feels like a pulse just like went through the entire, like an invisible shockwave just went through the entire hive, and all of a sudden the drones, they stop doing what they're doing, and it's like somebody cuts mannequin strings over them, and it's all of a sudden they're just like looking around, and even with their compound eyes you get the sense they're like looking around, lost, waiting for orders, wondering what the hell to do. And Asta, you go running off again, sort of screaming. Theoban, you hear inside of your head a droning, terrified, pained scream. I need you to make a risk roll.
Yeah.
What could go wrong here? Guys, I'm willing to hear some input. I I think what could go wrong here is like you just take the condition terrified. Like it rocks you to your core. You have a psychic link with this bee. And it's like a banshee wail essentially, but it gets right through your ears and cuts right to you. Anybody else have any good ideas?
Would you have those wedges of that clock for Yinthia?
I was gonna put that up as a devil's bargain, but yeah, it could be just enough time has passed that, you know, uh
Let's see stuff that could go wrong. The link, because your focus was already up into play. Now you have to save the bees, not save the people.
oh yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you
Arina
could.
shows up.
I mean, it's Arina who is screaming
Yeah.
in her head. uh I okay, then I'll modify that and say, yeah, Arina could be in mortal peril. Like it's not just that the queen has died, it's she died in a position that like puts Arina in severe mortal peril. Um yeah. Cool. Devil's bargains. Devil's bargain. I add one to the Intia clock. We're at 5 of 8 currently.
Yeah.
Other devil's bargains. I don't know. I think that's the only one I got.
Structural integrity, because the deeper is melting.
Here's a devil's bargain. The bees enraged and start killing the people around you. Start killing the
Oh,
yeah. That's also what could go wrong. I'm gonna table that as well.
Yeah, yeah. I figured that would be one of the things that could go wrong. I had an idea of what to do with the bees if if we came to that. I think I really want the Inthia clock to go up because that's the easiest one.
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
Awesome. Anthea clock goes up by 1. Do you have any skills or equipment that would help you focus, obviously.
I would say focus or soothing because it's like an angry, scared, and so like calming down, soothing would
Sure.
probably.
Yeah, somewhere between those two, you get your first light die. You get 1 light die for Devil's Bargain. I do think this is risking mind or body here, specifically
I agree.
mind. So yeah, 2 light, 1 dark risk roll, please.
Hudra! Fives across.
5s across, 5 dark high. So no reroll. Your complication is going to be that yeah, I am gonna put Arina in danger. Um
And my ruin does go up by 1.
oh, that's right. Dark high, and that is higher. So your room goes up.
Yep.
Um oh well, in that case, uh yeah, no, I think we can just roll there. Um yeah, so but I think because of this scream and your psychic connection to uh Arina, um I'm gonna make you make a terrible choice. The bees are going to start attacking the Wellslodians, but you can tell, I don't know how psychically this works, but you can tell that Arina is close by. You have to do one or the other. Save the Wellslodians or save Arina.
Okay. Um, how much of a little incel bitch is Theoban? Because, like, oh man, I've got so many fun things in my head if Arina lives, but also, would he be able to live with the guilt knowing that these people might be
Well,
getting slaughtered?
I'll give you this. You see Vaunn and Tuvo not far from you. You know, because they
Yeah.
were like down the road, right?
Yeah. I think I think Theoban would yell at the townspeople to run while he ran to Arena.
Cool.
I think that since he is so in tune with her, that's the more pressing thing for him. And let's be honest, these people have some weird thing happening to them anyway. Who knows if they'll be able to survive up top? It's a toss-up, right?
Sure is.
Um, so he will book it toward where he can feel her screaming from.
Cool. Yeah, it's not far away. It's maybe like the distance of about one city block or so. But you round the corner and you see we'll come back to you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Tuvo and Vaughan, yeah, Theo has just shouted at you. Theo, what did you shouted like get the people out of here or run or
So I shouted to the people to run, and probably as I like zoom past um Tuvo and Vaughn, I'll probably say, um, there's living non-wax people there. Help them, help them, help them. While I'm running.
so yeah, Vaughan and Tuvo, that is what occurs. Theo runs by, and you do see there are people now like running, and there are bees. Not only are there bees, but like ones from on high are launching propellant stingers from their little abdomens, like crossbow bolts, down into the Wellslodians, and it is just pandemonium now at this point. What do you two didn't do?
Next time we have to keep the kid within sight.
I mean, he's alive, but yes.
Vaughn's already running.
Running where?
Probably after Theoban, because
Cool.
he thinks that Theoban knows the way out. He's running in a particular direction. He seems like he knows where he's going, so that must be the way out, right?
Sound logic, incorrect, but sound logic.
Yeah, no.
What about Tuvo?
Yes.
Oh, I'm gonna phone in something terrible.
Oh, okay.
Tuvo, as you look over towards this crowd of people that are being harassed and harried by the the overhead ranged attacking bees, you notice one of the supposedly Wellslodians fleeing for their lives looks rather familiar to you. Her rather nondescript pale robes and her head wrap are part of her, her new disguise. As for why a Heathertop student or a Heathertop graduate is in a group of Wellslodians is, that's a fun question. But Lyra is.
Yep.
She hasn't seen you. She's busy like running with this sort of like crowd of, call it maybe about 25 or 30 people.
All right, Tuvo's heading that way.
I had a feeling you would. Fantastic. Yeah. Cool. Let's start with actually let's go back to Asta for a second. You've killed the mother of millions.
Mm-hmm.
Love that for you. You have her head. Are you just gonna like witcher it and just like, put it on like your belt or whatever?
Yeah, no, definitely. Like,
Amazing.
It can
like
also
maybe like
be
tie the antenna. Like,
Can't believe you do this. Um, yeah, and this room is filled up with smoke. The way out or the way in is also the way out. Is there anything else you plan on doing in this room?
um, I think
You
I'm getting out of there. Like,
yeah. You you either watch or you don't watch, or the camera sees as just like um these uh these six little blonde human girls just like you see them, the camera sees them like pressing on the walls of their six-sided cells, and they're trying to get out and trying to escape, and of course they can't. um but Asta has turned and fled as her friends melt to death. How dare you, you monster.
hmm hmm
um cool. And I think just for narrative purposes, I'm going to put you in the same sort of like you run. There's it is dark even for a dwarf with dark vision. At a certain point, like that only makes dim light bright and dark dim. But there is like certain levels of darkness that are even um darker. And so like you have to sort of like feel your way, and like your arms get like covered in honey. Your
hmm
boots are already like sticky, and you're pulling, and you don't even know if like this is really the right way because you were in the middle of that like hunter's bloodlust from before. um but you do finally like breach out and find light again. um and it's in the same commercial district, and the same thing you see. It looks like a scene from the war. It looks like a scene from like one of the last battles of the last war, only in this case, instead of like hippogriffs and wyverns flying over, it's giant bees. There's smoke is now billowing into this main chamber. People are screaming. Bees are somehow screaming. Don't ask me how that works. It just sounds kind of like only like more desperate. um uh but for now, yeah, are you just going to try and like evacuate and escape, or what is your plan from here?
So if there's like people that seem like people, like they're not melting, they're not wax. Um, if it looks like there's a way to, try to get them out, be like, hey guys, let's get out of here. Like try to help them evacuate. I think I would try to do that.
Sure. I think I'm not going to make you roll a hunt roll for that. I think you do find just a trio of people. A young. Sorry, we have a line against harm to children, so it's going to be just a young adult couple. Korovar, man and woman, and like there's one of these bees that is just like bearing down on them.
hmm
Um, what do you do?
Um, yeah, no, I think I'm gonna try to like kind of like get them, like get between them and the bee, and like try to like maybe like swing my halberd around and try to shoo that away.
Try and shoo it away. Okay. That sounds
Yeah.
more like a risk roll than a combat. Does that sound
Yeah,
about
that's kind of
accurate?
what I'm going for a little bit. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Um, I think protection gives you your first light die here.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, what could go wrong is you will be forced to fight this thing.
Right.
Um, other things that could go wrong is it has a stinger, and it will just it'll pelt not you but these poor innocent people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anybody else got ideas?
seeing this honey covered dwarf come out of the depths with a bee head attached to her, they might not trust her.
True. Yeah, that could work. Um, Cool. Devil's bargains.
No matter what, you become the target of all bees in the area.
Sure.
Classic one would be no matter what, you can't save all of them.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that wouldn't necessarily negate the success because you'll still save some.
Yeah.
I will add the devil's bargain of the Nthea clock advances. We're at 6 of 8.
I mean, it's after 8. Yeah, let's do Yinthia clock.
It is when the clock fills, I will have Yinthia arrive.
No, but I mean, like, it's after 8 my time. I'm like, oh, okay, we're at 8:30. We're almost done with the session.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Okay.
We can do one.
All right. Yeah.
Next
Yinthia
session
clock.
on
Yinthia
clock.
goes
It's
up.
fine.
Fantastic.
It'll be fine.
Cool. Would you say you're risking? I don't think you're, because it's not a combat necessarily. You are trying to threaten. I don't think you're risking mind or body yet.
Yeah.
But let's see what the roll is. Give me a 2-die risk roll, please.
Fuck.
Well, that's what the Holly.
I was muted, so you didn't hear me say, "Don't roll ones."
I'm sorry.
What?
If I'd known you were going to tell me that, I wouldn't have rolled ones.
What is this?
How many ones has she rolled in a row?
5. Well, okay,
No, she did a
not
weak
in a
point
row.
earlier.
But yeah, Jesus.
No, this is not good.
Okay, so you can add a dark die and re-roll, but I will again point out to you that you have 5 ruin currently.
Right.
So here's the deal. The way it gets worse is you just can't save these people. What did we discuss? Like, so this could be a combat. I did say like I would force you into combat with this thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it's going to be. Is yeah, you now have to fight this thing, with no armor and at ruin 5.
That's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine.
It's not going to be fine. Well, okay, so here's the deal. You could add a dark die and re-roll if you wanted to, but that's a 1 in 6 chance.
You know what? Let's do the dark die and re-roll.
Don't roll ones.
Okay.
Oh no.
Don't roll
Kat,
ones.
Don't say that because it's going to be a 6 dark now.
All right.
Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm sure I want to do this.
Okay. Too late.
Can you can
So I
swallow
got
some
6.
My God. My God. I saw the 6 and like my heart stopped until I saw it was 6 light.
Yeah.
Welcome to Trophy, gang. I can't take this anymore. Okay. Whew. Let me take a breath. Okay. Well, describe what this. So you're not killing the bee. You're just warding it off. But what does this look like? What is make it heroic?
Yeah. No. So like I'm like, hey guys, it's fine, and I'm like kind of like trying to like swoop this around, and maybe even like I've got enough honey on me that like it's more the bees following it than anything. And then they take off, and I'm kind of like, like keeping, and then I just like take off after them, like once they've got a good head start.
Fantastic. Cool. Let's and I think what I'll have you do is I'll have you discover at some point during this next little vignette. I think I'll have you link up with Tuvo. Yeah, like you all kind of like fall into the crowd of like these running people, and yeah, and so we'll put you all back up probably like in the Amber Commons maybe. because you're sort of like trying to leave the city
Mhm.
as it burns around you. But let's cut over to Theo and Vaunn. Theo, you round the corner and uh, and you find these people in robes, hooded robes. Uh, their faces are protected by woven reed plates that allow them to see. But they have like little sort of mesh over the eyes and the face. So kind of Doctor Doom style, only not metal. But that's clearly to like stop the bees from entering. Um, you see there are three of them. One of them has this like sensor that is like normally be swung for ritual services, and but there's like smoke coming out of it, but it's like incense smoke. Um, and they've got Arina there, and they're trying to drag her away somewhere. They've got Arina like by her wrists, and they're trying to pull her off.
No, 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 no. Stop, 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 stop.
Well, they are all going to look at you and like all three of them just like stop and look at you.
He's going to um look at them and say, that one belongs to me.
The three of them look at you, they look at each other, they look at Arina, and they look back at you and go, on your knees before the queen.
I would like to use my hum ritual.
To do what?
I would like to
You're
commune with Arina.
What makes you think Arina would respond to hum?
He, at this point, he's pretty sure that whatever she is, she's not human.
Okay.
She was humming. He could feel her humming. If he hums, she'll listen.
Let's be a dark dice. Do you have any skills or equipment that would give you your first light die?
you're at
Persuasion,
5.
You are at room
soothing.
5. Okay. I'll give you your first light die. This is a ritual. There will be a dark die. Um, what could go wrong here, guys?
So many fucking things.
I think the worst thing that could go wrong is you just become a drone for the new queen.
Oh, absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, her voice overwhelms yours and your consciousness with it. Uh, if nobody else has anything bad, we could go into Devil's Bargains. I'll offer one. I'll advance the Inthea clock. What else could go wrong here? or not what Devil's Bargains. We're in Devil's Bargains land. Devil's Bargains. You're I'll make you use the rest of your honey. Both two uses of it. Actually, no, I'll be a little kinder here and say it's your material component and you'll use one use of it.
Okay.
No matter what, where are you at? No matter what, best friends with the beast gets altered.
Give me a little help here to best friends with the bees.
Yeah, best friends to the bees or best friends to the queen.
Okay.
Or the queen, the queen's whatever, but
just so I can mechanize or imagine a little bit. Basically, I think you'll have trouble bringing harm to bees. You will come to see them as much as people, because they are clearly demonstrating a level of intelligence that is,
I like that one.
cool. Yeah, go ahead and change that condition to best friends with the bees. And 2 light, 1 dark.
The 6 light, baby.
Okay. Oh, I can't. My heart rate.
Good damn.
Cool. On a 6, I like to give you narration. So I'd like to know what this ritual looks like, if anything. But also, what do you want her to do? Well, or it does just let you communicate with her, but I'll give you a little bit more than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Theoban, at first it's his pulse in his ears. But then instead of ba-bump, 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 ba-bump from his heart beating, it's just a tinnitus ring. And then it's noticing everything. The twitch of an eyebrow, the way an eye moves, everything that might communicate something between two animals. The way someone is moving, and he connects with that with Arina. And he speaks, but it doesn't come out of his mouth. It's almost like a tension in the air that's tangible. And he says, "Don't go. Don't let these people take you. If you're really their queen, tell them to stand down and come with me."
And you watch as her eyes lift and her very human, perfectly sculpted eyes make contact with yours. And the voice that comes back is, if you've ever listened to Bulgarian women's choir, or like Ghost in the Shell, the chorus they use for a lot of that. It's again a voice that sounds like it's multiple all at the same time. She says, "There must always be a queen." But when she stands up, she looks at the cultists, let's call them what they are. and she says, I am Arina Yaramir. I was brought here by some strange magic. Meanwhile, Tuvo and or sorry, yeah, this is Tuvo and Asta.
Before I meet up with Asta, as I'm turning towards this horde, I need backup. I would like to animate the body that was face down in the water.
Okay. To what end?
Oh,
do you just want to?
I need a meat shield.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. We can do this one of two ways. You can use your ritual and we can play it out as a combat, in which case you wouldn't actually roll risk. You would just treat it like a piece of combat equipment. You can use it to reduce the endurance of a fight, which I think that would be the safe thing to do.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. Or is there like, do you want to try and avoid combat entirely and just like send it off to go and fight and die in your honor?
No, I think more just, reducing the endurance, being the meat shield is what he needs here.
Sure. Okay, cool.
So as basically he leaves the warehouse, turning back towards where the people are, Tuvo's just briskly walking as the others are running away. He just takes his dagger and just quickly rakes it down his right palm and then flicks his own blood at the creature face down in the water.
Cool. I love it. Dark die because it's ritual. Oh, we are. Let's resolve this and then we will move into stars and wishes. Because we are coming up on time. Does anybody have a heart out? Usually don't, but just want to check. Cool. Awesome. Dark die because it's a ritual. I think you have something that gives you a light die. Do you? Skills or equipment? What would help you out here?
Because it's not a demon.
It's not a demon. You're not negotiating with it. It's not trickery. I wouldn't call this a trick. It's a ritual. It's actual potent stuff, and you're not appraising anything.
Yeah. Other than the fact that I'm using my curved ritual knife, but
that is equipment. You do pay burdens for it. So and you did narrate it as part of your narration. So I will give that to you. Your first light die. What could go wrong here? It doesn't obey your commands and it attacks you instead. What else could go wrong is you animate all the dead bodies. And this becomes a zombie horror film. I always love when rituals work too well. As a thing can go wrong here. Anybody else got any ideas? Devil's bargains. You can get another additional light die if you accept a devil's bargain. No matter what. Let's see. No matter what, I advance the Inthia clock. Boop, 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 boop. No matter what.
No matter what, you also start to feel that hum. Get that hum ritual up in here.
As in
not the lamplight eyes, but another reason to feel it. There's a feedback loop of the ritual, and he gets looped into whatever.
Okay.
Whatever's going on here too.
Yeah. Normally that would be like another risk roll. I don't like doing risk rolls into risk rolls. but then in this case, yeah, no matter what, you will take the condition. The hive is was it the hive is home? Um, yeah, you'll take the condition. The hive is home. Skipping that risk roll entirely, you will just start to become a member of the hive, the new hive. How does that sound? Or the Inthia clock, or that's kind of what I got. Because you're reducing the endurance on a creature, so you're already planning on fighting it. No matter what, you won't just fight just one of them, you'll fight two.
Okay.
Which of
I can
those?
live with that one. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. So 2 light, 1 dark. Roll them bones.
2 light, 1 dark. Motherfucker.
Is that the 6 dark that we've been waiting for? That is the 6. Listen, better you than
the
anyone
only
else.
one that could. Yeah.
I
so
good news is it's a 6. You succeed without any complications, which is good because my complication was going to be I advanced the Yenthia clock anyways.
Ruin 5 across the board, baby.
Yeah, and you're about to go into a fight. Now the good news is though, Asta is catching up to you, but Asta's not in really a position to really do a whole lot of
Can
fighting.
she be like eating some royal jelly as she's catching up?
If you want to, yes, I will let you. It says consumed, but in my head, like, I mean, you could eat the royal jelly, but you could also like apply it as a poultice.
Ooh, I like that.
To me, that just kind of like aloe vera.
Yeah,
super magical aloe vera.
So who is my ghoul?
Your ghoul is Mr. Ghoulie, obviously. But yeah, so that ritual is going to reduce the endurance of the upcoming fight, although it's a 6, so you actually, I think you reduce it by 2.
Oh yeah.
If it functions the same way as range combat, which I'm not going to look any deeper into the rules, and I'm going to say that's probably what's supposed to happen, but you are fighting 2 of them, so the endurance goes back up by 1. But we're already at time, so I'm going to say for future me, we are going to begin next session with a combat. Asta can participate if she wants. Asta, you can go ahead and reduce your ruin by 1 to 4 and take off the battered and bruised condition.
Okay.
It didn't really come into play a whole lot. Maybe I should have looked at that a little bit harder, but I didn't. But it's gone now. And yeah, still dangerous because you don't have any armor to mark.
Right.
Theoretically, you could still die in a single roll if you roll your weak point and like both numbers on the combat. So you might want to sit this first round out. Maybe, or maybe not.
I'll think about it. Yeah,
or maybe just sit the whole combat out. Who knows?
Mm-hmm. Tuvo's got this.
Yeah, Tuvo's got this. Tuvo will be fine. He's got an endurance 7 monster to fight. So yes, future me. Tuvo is fighting a couple of bees. Endurance 8, -2 for the ritual, bring it to 6, but there's 2 of them, so it'll go to 7, endurance 7. But we'll start next session with that. Let's move into stars and wishes. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, this was so good.
Y'all are gonna give me a heart attack. Like, I'm rooting
I feel
for
like
you.
a lot of the credit does need to go to the dice, but like stars for all of us for stressing Mac out. I think that means we win. And stars for Mac for like knowing that he needed to pause and just like recenter and figure out what was going on. That was very good. Take a few minutes, try and figure out what the fuck, and then continue.
Yeah, start of the dice roller for like just being whatever it wanted to be tonight. Trip ones. Good lord. I've only seen that a couple times. But yeah, I decided to separate the hunters, and I think it all worked out. Like it was significantly worse by putting Asta alone in the room with the Mother of Millions. Um, but also I'm glad you guys decided to use 3 hunt tokens, and I don't feel bad for like nudging you guys to do that because it's an expendable resource.
Yeah.
You still have to decide to do it, and you are putting 3 gold worth of treasure, basically flushing it down the toilet to do stuff.
But
So
it's a mechanic of the system.
mhm,
It's
Mhm.
meant to, I don't feel bad about it.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So sometimes I feel like GMs can be like, you could always just do this thing, but what I do like about this system is like it's there to be done. So use it, take advantage of it by all means. Um, yeah. So Star definitely to torching the hive.
Mhm.
That's always fun. What else? What do you guys got? Starsies.
Start for each scene, it was every location, even though it was all except for when Asta got separated, it was neat. Each thing had its own little thing going on.
Mhm.
And it was just cool. Like I love the Alchemist because again, it raises more questions than it answers. Like we heard the townspeople talking about him, so they knew him, but at some point this guy went from alchemist to zombified. And it's like locked up in a vault doing research on bees, but wasn't necessarily a bee, but this mysterious third thing.
Yeah. Also, just to let you know, the head of the Mother of Millions will satisfy the meta goal here. If you bring back the head of Mother of Millions and say, yeah, the place is being turned into a giant hive, that's what the fuck's going on in Wellslode, and
yeah,
we killed it, the Sentinel Marshal will pay you all out. Now, your characters haven't encountered Asta and know that that's the case, but if they do, I will let you know that will be enough to satisfy that situation.
Oh, yeah, we got to add those to the bestiary. Where is he? Lucas Bolthole.
Yeah. Yeah, so star to you all for torching the hive and pitching in hunt tokens for that. Star to Asta for fighting the Mother of Millions. It's amazing the story that like a combination of the dice and Asta's actions have told, despite the fact that like again, this is not a game about being the big plucky heroes. But Asta has worn a cursed necklace, been possessed by a Syrian knight, who palled around with her for a while, and has now slain the Mother of Millions. Like that's badass in trophy. Um, that's a lot. That's a lot in Eberron, I feel like. Um, but yeah, so star to Holly for making all of these like bold choices. Also putting it all on the line. Goddamn, what choices were made tonight. And they could have gone differently, but you get to go home hopefully and sing the stories of. I just cursed it, didn't I'm
You just
sorry.
cursed it, yeah.
I
Yeah.
just jinxed it. Whoops.
What a monster.
Vaunn, I love your insistence on continuing to call Theoban the new guy.
Oh no, he didn't have a name.
Yeah.
But you knew Pastuche. Yeah, yeah.
That's usually my good pal.
You're invested in the dog, but not the dog's owner. Classic.
Star.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say star for Vaughan. reading the sign, looters, forfeit their safety. And Vaughn's just like, cool, run it.
Yeah.
Obviously got some good stuff in there. Otherwise, there wouldn't be a sign.
Yeah. No,
I go to all that trouble.
I really like that whole sequence of busting into the panic room. That was really fun. And Vaunn just doing total smash and grab.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
It's great.
Theoban, holy shit, running after Arina and the slow descent. The whole scene with fake Asta and Theoban was so fun. Oh my god,
so good.
It was the scariest scene ever in any trophy.
Katrin was freaking out, and I was there
freaking out.
Start a cat's quilt for being a champ and just like take. No, that was.
It was so much fun because I knew what you were doing. I knew what was going on, but I had so much fun with Theoban not quite getting it.
Yeah.
It just kind of slowly.
And you were a trooper for that. And but also like the hum ritual at the very end to connect to Arina, just so good. So good. And my wish obviously is gonna be like there's a few ways this story can go.
If I live, I've got an idea, and but I gotta live first.
I mean, I got a couple go ahead.
I love meek little Theoban standing up, puffing out his chest. That one is mine.
That was good. That was good.
My wish related to that, I mean, I've got a couple of them. One of them is that Arina becomes the new mother of millions, because there must always be a queen. Because she's not a human. You can't exactly like take her back to Bastion and
like her getting sent to a boarding school, right? Like she's never gonna go back to her dad's house again.
So I'll go ahead and say it in case I do snuff it. I'm gonna toss it out into the ether. From a meta narrative, I've got an idea, which is combining. It'd be serious ruin, but combining the ghoul and the Enliven ritual.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, are you saying so? The Enliven ritual, my understanding of it is it like animates like inanimate things. So it's not quite the same as necromancy.
Right.
Right,
because ghoul is animated dead body. And Enliven give flesh and breath to an effigy.
Yeah.
But I'm tossing off the idea of combining them for some, dark magic pseudoscience.
So do you get like a Frankenstein?
Yeah, or kill her to save her, and
Yeah.
Don't know how it would suss out, but that's just percolating in my head right now.
Yeah.
My wish is for Arina to go back to Bastion with Theoban and for them to live together in his little apartment happily ever after the end.
How exactly do you see that playing out?
Yeah, they open up a honey store.
Literally a bee.
Look, he can buy honey for her. It's fine.
Roadside honey store.
She makes her own honey.
He'll buy her flowers every day.
Oh.
That
feels almost like a Selkie type story where it's
absolutely. No.
You've got like the magical wife that is gonna like just be gone one day, but
absolutely tormented, but he loves her so much that he will do anything to keep her there. Anything. Okay.
My romantic ass is like, oh my god, your girlfriend could be the mother of millions. Like It's like the moment in Avatar where it's like, yeah, my girlfriend became the moon. It's like,
That's rough,
oh,
buddy.
that's rough,
Yeah,
buddy.
that's rough, buddy. Yeah, yeah.
Star for the six sides of Secunda.
Oh, that
Oh,
was so good.
That was
That was
great.
so good.
I'm so glad. I saw the recognition in Rugga's eyes when I started describing her. I'm like, how do I describe Secunda without just being like it's Secunda? Um, uh, but that was really fun to call back to.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the callbacks to, like, you can see now why I wanted to run this like on the heels of
Oh yeah, yeah.
a heart, a warm and pleasant hum. Um, yeah, it's just so fun to have those callbacks. Um,
I have a star for my wish finally coming true. Jared used a ritual.
yeah,
Yay.
yeah. Use Ghoul Ritual.
My new wish is for Vaunn and Asta to have like a wrap up conversation at the end of this.
Ooh.
Have one-on-one, just like check in if we're both still alive.
There we go.
That
No,
was
I feel
fun.
like that's the thing because yeah, no, I think that'd be good. That'd be good.
Yeah.
And I feel like Asta needs. I mean, you mentioned that last session. I think she needs a moment with the red rose.
Yeah.
That's also true. And I think we'll have that. Like
Hmm.
checking in with your gold totals versus your burdens. I think Wellslode is going to become too dangerous soon to continue pursuing looking for gold, but I do want to give you guys like any other opportunities you
I
might
feel like I
have.
haven't hardly found any gold. I would like some more gold. I wasn't going to necessarily put that out as a wish, but like I sure would like some more, please.
I'm like, okay,
Uh,
I'm gonna jinx it. I'm gonna jinx it. I'm not gonna jinx it. I won't say anything, but I'm not gonna say that maybe Asta will actually survive this excursion, which I was not. I've not been sure about at any point in time. Like I've kind of had my doubts.
I'm telling you,
It
this
it
incursion is somehow like one of the deadliest incursions out there, but there's nothing like particularly, at least from my looking at it, that like just on the surface is more dangerous and deadly than any other incursion out there. In fact, there are other, like the dance sequence in the Rhine Palace feels significantly deadlier than this. There are I mean the final hunt in Huntsman's Manor feels significantly more deadly. It's just like every time I've seen this incursion run or played, it's like everyone is pushed to the edge.
yeah.
And
And
like, yeah.
I think it's just the way the set pieces fall into place.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times in these other excursions that we've done, the set pieces connect, but they're pockets of these sets and rings, where this is it's all interconnected.
Like a hive.
Yeah, like a hive. And because like you take down some mooks or some goons, it doesn't necessarily, like from a narrative standpoint, it pisses off the big bad, but it's not strengthening them
Yeah.
or giving them clues about our weaknesses. And the impersonating people, just all of that stuff, like it feels more entwined.
Mhm.
And consequences, your actions are immediately having consequences.
Also, I'll just say your hunt rolls have been wild. I don't think I've run trophy gold with this many sub 4, like 1, 2, and 3 hunt rolls. There's been like 6 of them so far. Appropriate. There's been a lot. Like normally I feel like it's like 1 or 2 and you're like, that sucks. Okay. But like for the entire incursion,
Yeah.
and here it's just like, oh my god, how much danger can I put you guys in? But that's, I feel like that's why we're looking at like Vaughn's got 3 pieces of treasure, although you guys are doing really well as a group.
Yeah.
Sort of.
But it's definitely been an excursion for encountering something terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. Although I already have ideas for the next one. I want to run the next one very soon. So I hope you all survive because I think you'll have fun with that one too. But if you don't, then I also can't wait to meet your next treasure hunters too, because I'm sure they'll be fun and fabulous too.
Spoiler
Anything happens
alert.
to Asta, I'm playing a gnome. Just saying.
Nice.
Amazing.
The next one's
My
just gonna
gnomes
be
are like mean.
yeah.
The
The next excursion is just it's wasps. All of this, but on that next level where wasps are just that much more of assholes. So
um uh any other like, oh man, I also just had a lot of fun just like ratcheting up the tension until finally it's like everything's on fire, everything's burning, there's bees everywhere. Just it's such a fun.
any game that gets you to the point where everyone at the table's holding their breath, waiting to see the die result, is a good moment.
Yeah, and that happened a couple times.
It was back to back to back.
God, it was nuts.
I knew that 6 was coming for me, but I was the only one that could afford to take it. So.
Yeah, no, and the dice roller knew that too. The dice roller, it knows things. Yeah, my wishes are yeah, I think next session we'll have plenty of time to wrap up the incursion. I definitely want to give you guys any more time that you feel you need to go looking for treasure, understanding of course that like this is now an active hostile combat zone. You can still look for things if you want. I have another wish of Vaunn and Asta having a cool little scene, maybe back at the tavern if they both survive the fallout of that whole situation that happened. Asta and the Red Rose would be cool to have. Theoban and Arina, I'd love to see some fallout there. I do have Lyra here in a box. I don't know if she's real or not. Isn't that fun? I don't think she is, but maybe. Wouldn't that be interesting? Wouldn't that be messed up if like the last person that you find is actually real?
Look, I can fix her.
I've
I've got a ritual this time.
There could be 2 Lyras. That would
Yeah.
be fun. Who wouldn't want that?
Probably Tuvo actually, but
so one of them sometimes hums to herself. It's just a
yeah.
little quirk.
Yeah,
good.
it's the Eiffel Tower, except it's Tuvo getting stabbed from either end.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god, yeah, 2 people to stab Tuvo. Great. Any other starsies or wishes?
So imagine like Lady Yimphia showing up and like there's fire everywhere, but it's like your adventurers are in another burning village or a different burning village.
It's the post-credit scene.
Yes.
She shows up too late and we're already gone.
Right. She's so pissed off.
Wouldn't that be just wild? What would she do with a new mother of millions that she could just
She would add it into her machinery.
Yeah. I was like,
oh god,
no.
that's what we need is like
Not my new
undead bee queen.
girlfriend.
yeah, we see her.
And then they transform the machine into like a hive, and it's like a walking hive.
Yeah, a floating, flying, walking undead bee citadel.
I would, yeah.
With 2 more endurance and just
yeah, I was like, her endurance would have to go if she drinks the blood of the mother of millions, like she would have to go to endurance 13. Like there's and have like undead sturges, now undead bees.
Oh
yeah.
I hate Sturgis so much.
Yeah, at that point she's just like making her own dread domain. Like
Mm-hmm.
At that point, she would need like literal D&D.
It's a walking dread domain.
There you go. Yeah. Cool. All right. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stop the recording here. And yeah. Bye, future people.